watching Benoit chop David Flair.
19 years later, I am part of the Chop and Roll Express with a UFC fighter, all because of this fucking match right here, and Chris Benoit chopping the shit out of David Flair. God, this was great. Let's start this show. I'm in a great mood now.
WCW Monday Nitro, number 201, also July 26th, 1999. So Kurt Hennig was on Thunder. He called out Goldberg for this show. Mean Gene comes out or he brings out Hulk Hogan for a promo. Hogan runs down Kevin Nash for a while. And then Nash comes out with Sid Vicious and Rick Steiner, still one of the weirdest trios I ever remember happening. In fact, I didn't remember it happening. They all attack and overwhelm him. Sting makes a save with his bat. And then Nash cuts a promo. And Nash says, Hogan, challenges him to a tag match later, and says, I've got my partner. Do you have a partner? Or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he makes it very clear, I have a tag team partner. And this becomes the mystery for the rest of this program. Who is Kevin Nash's tag team partner? Yeah. He's standing there with Rick Steiner on one side and Sid Vicious on the other, but he has a tag team partner.
Who could it be?
Yeah. Hogan looks at Sting. Sting looks at Hogan, but then Sting walks away without committing to anything.
You know, Hogan's out there doing his 80s babyface, old school Hogan promo.
It was awesome.
And he starts burying Kevin Nash and keeps calling him Kevina.
That wasn't awesome.
And then later he calls him Kevette.
Yes.
And I'm like, if you're a heel and you got some stupid nickname like Kevina for Kevin Nash, sure, or Kevette, like, you can pull that off because you're supposed to be uncool, but you think you're cool. This fucking guy's a babyface trying to get people to cheer as he calls Kevin Nash a grown man, and Hogan's a grown man in his 40s.
A very grown man.
Calling him Kevina and Kevette. It was so bad. But the fans are going apeshit for this guy as a babyface.
Juventud Guerrera and Psychosis versus Bobby Duncombe Jr. and Kendall Windham.
Juventud must have taken up the Eddie Guerrero weightlifting regiment because he is huge this week.
Got bigger?
I didn't notice that. I was busy watching him fuck everything up.
Well, there's that.
I mean, him and Kendall Windham get in the ring. Okay? I realize I say this, and sometimes I'm exaggerating, but they literally fucked up everything that they tried. They fucked up a lockup. Kendall pushes him to the corner, his own fucking corner, and Hoovie's partner, who's his partner? Psychosis?
Yes.
Fucking Psychosis has to just stand there like a fucking moron because he can't tag yet. But this idiot pushed him to the corner. So then they tried a hip toss. A hip toss. Fucked it up.
Yep.
And then that was it. And then Psychosis just tags in. I guess he could take no more. When Kendall Windham pushed Hoovie into his own corner to beat on him, I was like, on your first day of wrestling school, in a tag match, you could take him to your own corner. You could take him to the neutral corners.
Yes.
The one place you don't take him is his own goddamn corner. That's where Kendall took him.
I went to Portland this weekend, and I saw Ray Orez wrestle Ray Phoenix.
I'll bet it was better than this.
They were better luchadors than Juventud Guerrero, Brian.
No shit?
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
So what I liked about this match, and I like this. This is a sincere, positive thing. If you do the exact same formula, Brian's baffled. If you do the exact same formula tag match every time, it gets very, very predictable. So they beat up Psychosis for a long time. They teased a hot tag, but the ref didn't see it. So he pushes Hoovie back in the corner, and they just hit him with a double bulldog and pin him.
Okay, fine.
There was no hot tag. There was no comeback. They just beat a guy.
Okay. I'll give you that. It was different. That's good.
Yes.
That's the only good thing about this match.
That's the only good thing I have to say.
The wrestling in this match was bottom of the barrel. But it was funny. I was howling. And Hoovie, they put Hoovie in the fucking ring with Kendall Windham. And they were going to run spots.
What was the idea?
Dude.
Miss Madness is backstage.
Oh my God. This was...
Okay, first of all,
there's nothing in WWE, okay? You ever listen to me right now? There's nothing they do nowadays. I'm talking Bayley and Sasha. There's nothing worse than this with Miss Madness and Medusa. but it was fucking hilarious.
First of all,
Because nothing was scripted, and they're out there. Medusa is clearly called in the ring, as they say. She's just got to say some stuff. And she fucking waffles back and forth. She wants to be Mona's friend. Then she wants to kick her ass. She wants to be her friend. A fucking phone rings off camera.
Yes.
She works it into her promo.
That's probably Gorgeous
bet
George.
That's George calling. She's certain there's a conspiracy here with George. Comes off as just a crazy woman. They're all crazy. I love this segment, but it was horrific.
The other thing that you should notice, maybe it's just me, I could not turn my TV up loud enough to hear them.
Well, yeah.
Did anyone bring a microphone to this backstage promo? So, yeah, I think, I am far from clear, but I think they decided to finish George off tonight.
Yeah, but then when they were done, Medusa decides to add, I want to kick your butt still, she says.
I didn't get that.
And Mona is baffled.
You don't say.
And they're going to have a match at Road Wild.
That's right, they're fighting at Road Wild.
Madness and Mona? Or Madness and
Yes.
Medusa? I like when she's sad. She's, I can't be Miss Madness anymore. I'm just Mona.
Yeah, she's been fired. She's been fired.
When did this happen, by the way?
From being Miss Madness. Apparently the pay-per-view or
Thunder?
something. I don't know. Thunder? Like, everything happens on Thunder. It's terrible.
So at this point, they say Nitro is brought to you by the French onion chicken grill sandwich at Wendy's.
This is what you remembered?
Thought, damn, that sounds good.
I remember Tori's outfit. You remember a goddamn chicken sandwich from Wendy's?
Well, I actually didn't remember it. I didn't remember it.
Oh, I see.
But it sounded good.
I see.
And now I want one, but I can't because this is 19 years ago and they don't have it anymore. So I went to YouTube. The commercial's on there. This sandwich looks so fucking good.
You could probably have them make you the sandwich.
I could probably grill my own onions and take them to Wendy's if I want a chicken sandwich, but
I'm sure that Wendy's has onions. You could probably ask for a chicken sandwich, add onions.
I could try that.
You know, it reminds me, though. What pizza place was it? Was it Round Table? There's Round Tables around here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Round Table,
It's still
one
around.
day, they had an artisan pizza. But it was like, only during the summer we've got this artisan, and they never had it again. It was so good. I looked for this artisan pizza for years and years afterwards. Now you can run down to Mod Pizza and probably make the exact same fucking pizza. It'd probably be way better. But I still wish they'd just bring it back just one time. And it'd probably suck. Just like that chicken sandwich.
It probably would have, honestly. It's a Wendy's chicken sandwich, and they've never brought it back since.
There was also, you youngsters will remember this, way back in the day, Lay's barbecue chips tasted different. One day they changed the recipe. They've never been the same. I've been looking for these barbecue chips my whole life. I don't remember what they taste like.
But they were better.
I just remember they were the best. Tony, do you remember these? Hell yeah. Oh yeah, he remembers.
When I was
God damn it.
When I was a kid,
Skipper's clam chowder?
No,
They don't make it like that anymore.
When I was a kid, I loved Cookie Crisp cereal. And then one day I bought it as an adult and said, this is not the same thing. And I'm not alone in thinking that. Apparently there was this company sale, and when the company was sold, they changed the format.
I hate
It sucks
that.
now.
There's a cake at Costco that Whitney used to love, a chocolate cake. They don't make it like that anymore. Probably would kill you.
I'm sure it would.
Man, it was good though.
Vampiro versus Rey Mysterio Jr.
Fun match.
This was a lot of fun. They were working their asses off, and Vampiro had no problem slamming this little man around without mercy. So Rey makes his comeback. He fights off the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, the Insane Clown Posse's out there.
Yeah. But Vampiro hits a Michinoku driver. He goes up top. Rey goes up top for a top rope Rana. The clowns hold Vampiro, so he can't go down.
This was clever.
Yeah. And Vampiro catches Rey, hits a big giant power bomb off the ropes. And I think, man, he's going to pin Rey and get a big win. And then the clowns hit the ring and attack Rey Mysterio for the DQ.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to beat Ray.
They had it won.
If I was Vampiro, I'd have kicked their asses.
Yes.
He just
I
wants-
just beat Rey Mysterio Jr. and you assholes.
They're not here to win. They're here to just.
They cut a
Scare
promo.
people.
I was just beyond baffled. So Eddie Guerrero makes a save, and Violent J cuts a promo saying, "We're here to kick some ass. We're not here to rock
Actually,
and roll."
He cut an awesome promo. He
He's
goes,
Violent J. He always does.
he says, Vampiro has friends in wicked places. And we're not here to wave our hands because they had that stupid thing in WWE. We're here to kick some ass. That was awesome. I'm a big fan of these clowns.
I don't know what I
A rare set of clowns I'm a big fan of.
I don't know what I ever did to Monday Nitro to deserve this.
Oh, my God.
They booked Vincent versus Stevie Ray on a show I was watching.
They sure fucking did.
Why?
Not
Why?
Only that, not only that, Vinny, Before Vincent and Stevie Ray wrestle, Vincent cuts a promo.
Yeah.
Did you understand a word he said?
Let me see what I wrote here.
He had the mic upside down
First
or
of all,
something. Like, fuck, he can't do anything right.
First of all, Stevie's coming out as he's talking, so the music's still playing. So
Yeah.
that doesn't help. Let's see. Stevie was coming down the aisle when Vincent said Stevie had no backbone and they would leave him flat on his back.
He said Stevie doesn't leave the black and white leaves Stevie. That was the big thing.
How can a man that had been in pro wrestling so long look like he'd had 2 wrestling classes?
Because he did!
He is so horrible.
He
Which one are we
barely
talking about?
ever
Vincent.
wrestled.
I was talking about Stevie. I thought Stevie was worse.
Oh, goodness. Vincent is horrendous.
Craig, you had more matches in your entire career than Vincent had before he came to WCW. Probably like your first month.
So this
They
is
have
one
a
of those
horrific
matches.
match.
I'm watching this, and I'm watching it, and like it slaps me in the face how absolutely terrible this is, and I'm not appreciating it. I had to go back and start from the beginning to really take in just how terrible this wrestling was.
You didn't just cut your losses and move on?
I have a job to do.
You are a glutton for punishment, my
I'm
friend.
a professional.
Yeah, well, you are.
It's my job to tell these listeners how shitty this match was. So it's fucking shitty.
Oh,
That's
dude.
what I determined.
Right.
Horace jumps on the apron. He's hitting Stevie
He's just
right in front of
Decking,
the ref.
he's wailing on him. The ref's
No
like,
DQ.
knock it off, dick.
Yep. Heels get run together. Stevie hits a big boot. That's like the finish of every match ever.
Right.
But he can't pin him. First, he's got to hit him with a slapjack. Okay. They do an interference spot, and
Right.
Stevie hits a boot. This should be the finish.
Absolutely.
Nope. I'm going to get out my slapjack. Whacks him with the slapjack behind the ref's back.
Yeah,
I'm
not
like,
enough.
fine, get your stupid fucking thing over. That's not the finish. Now he's got to pick this fucking guy up and also give him the worst pedigree of all time. Now he's happy pinning Vincent.
Well, I'm glad you got all that, because as this was going on, as Stevie was getting in his move, I believe Booker T was fighting off Bryan Alvarez with a chair, but I
Yes.
can't tell for sure because both things were going on at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
What awful television. But, as you said, so bad it's funny. It was hysterically bad. I thought this was much worse, by the way, than the Cowboys match with Juventud.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was
That was
worse.
hard.
Yeah, the Juventud match was funny.
Okay.
They botched more spots in the Juventud match because they were trying.
I see.
I don't know what... I can't tell if these guys were trying. I hope not.
Gene is outside Hogan's locker room door when Sting pushes him aside and goes in. Maybe Hunter was in there.
Sting walks into Hogan's dressing room. The door closes, and Mean Gene Okerlund says, "Who will be Hogan's tag team partner?" They cut away. Mystery.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Sting comes out for a promo. Says, I am the president of WCW and I have a big decision. He asks the fans, should it be showtime tonight? Hogan comes out to plead his case. Says, Stinger, I'm not the same Hollywood. You can trust me. Then he says, quote, I will not stab you in the back tonight.
Everybody boos.
Right.
You know, I think if you have to explicitly say, I will not stab you in the back, that is a bad sign.
Well, you know, it is a bad sign, Vinny, because he has stabbed him in the back repeatedly. So now he's telling him, like, seriously, this time,
Yeah.
I'm not going to stab you in the back. I'm a new man.
So Sting, who has heard this exact same speech with the exact same results from Ric Flair 200 times, says he agrees, but says, if you screw me, I'll get you.
That was a good line.
And he's leaving, and Hogan has to get in the last line, so he just says, fair enough. And that's that. So Hogan and Sting are a tag team for tonight.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Jason Hervey comes out to do commentary. Should we talk about Jason just now? I wrote down a bunch of stuff he said.
Let's do that.
All right, so Jason Hervey was on,
The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years.
He was Wayne,
Yep.
the older brother.
and then he and Bischoff started like a production company or whatever. They worked together. So this fucking guy does commentary. And there was one human being on the face of the planet that thought he was any good. You'll never guess who it was.
Jason Hervey.
Eric Bischoff!
Oh, him too.
Everybody thought he sucked. Because he fucking sucked.
That's,
But he was Bischoff's friend, and I think he's on TV for like a while now.
Oh, Lord.
he shows up as soon as they cut to the three of them. It's Bobby Heenan, Scott Hudson, and Jason Hervey, and Heenan is just shaking his head back and forth.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who's about to unfold. Now,
There's such a huge, vast difference between Bobby Heenan and his subtle jabs and humor, and then this idiot won't shut his pie hole.
he did talk constantly. I found it to be exactly like Shane McMahon at this point, only I thought less annoying. Now, he was no good, right? But I would rather listen to Jason Hervey than Matt Stryker.
Well, yeah. I
I'd rather listen to Jason Hervey
yeah, I guess.
than the modern Raw or SmackDown announced teams.
I'd rather not listen to anybody who sucked.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, if we really have to.
sure.
What I'm saying is I don't think he was the worst announcer I've ever heard.
Also, he was up there.
Is it weird that I associate him more with being the kid who gets Pee-wee's bike and Pee-wee's Big Adventure than with the Wonder Years?
No, I guess not. I don't know.
It is the same guy. Is it? Mm-hmm. I have been ready since first call. Roll camera. I watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure a lot.
So much.
Prince Iakea versus Lash LaRue. Went like 30 seconds, and Randy Savage comes out with George.
Funny you should mention that, by the way, because when Ben Stiller came out,
Yeah, Pee-wee's in that movie.
yeah, he mentions Pee Wee Herman. Of all of the actors he mentioned, Pee Wee got the biggest pop.
Yeah.
And Lawler goes, "Great to see him back in the theater again."
Yeah, that's all he had to say.
This is
It was so good.
That's funny.
That was hilarious.
this is where Jason got in one of his great comments. You see the L that's on Lash LaRue's face? That's actually a J for Jason. Me.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah, but then he laughed at his own jokes. The fact that he laughed at his own jokes like a good heel, that softened the blow for me a lot. So, yeah.
You know how many people? Hey, here's a trivia question for you. Do you guys know how many people switched the channels during Lash LaRue and Prince Iakea? Anybody want to make a guess?
50,000.
I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go 60,000.
Let's go 100, even 100.
Yeah, 1.2 million.
Oh. What was on Raw the other?
Fuck if I know. Anything.
Huh.
All right, so Randy Savage beats these geeks up. He cuts a promo on Nash and Dennis Rodman. At this point, I attempted to do babyface heel math. Okay. So Kevin Nash is a heel, right?
Right.
So if Savage and Hogan's a face,
Right.
Yep.
Hogan's a face, Nash is a heel. So Savage, if he's cutting a promo on Nash, Savage must be a babyface now, right? Which means Dennis Rodman's a heel?
I can't tell. It feels like Savage is a heel.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like Rodman's a babyface.
Because Rodman's a bigger heel. Because
But
Rodman
Rodman
comes out and
did steal
kidnaps
his
Dennis,
woman, yeah.
kidnaps George.
But I mean,
Rodman's
everyone
a
does
jerk.
that.
I guess.
Nash did that when he was a babyface.
And that was a heel.
Sure.
Well, yeah, but so, like,
That was like a week ago.
babyfaces steal her.
Apparently.
That's what we know.
Right. And plus, Kevin doesn't have a cool hat.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Sure.
All he knows is sucked, and Rodman kidnaps George. And how does he kidnap her? Does he throw her over his shoulder because she's like 100 pounds?
Oh, no.
He grabs her by the hand. He starts running.
She's got to keep
This
up.
is Dennis Rodman, an athlete.
A great athlete.
He's fucking running so fast up this ramp.
She's
She's
got
got
these
high heels
heels
on like this long. She almost breaks both ankles. He drags her ass backstage. Savage has to run after him. He cannot move. Watching this poor fucking guy try to run up the ramp after Dennis Rodman was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of this ends, and Jason Hervey goes, "That was so cool."
That's what he said.
I'm like, fuck, get off my TV, dude.
So Savage is on the rampage backstage. Yeah, his girlfriend just got kidnapped for the second time in like a month. Gene is in the ring. Goldberg comes out.
I fucked up my notes, I see. I wrote that Goldberg threatened to kill Bill Goldberg. That didn't happen?
No.
He's trying to kill Kurt Hennig.
Could Bill Goldberg kill Bill Goldberg? That's the question.
That actually is a great philosophical question.
Yes.
That's the
Something you can all think
That's a
about.
question to get high and answer. So he's running down Kurt Hennig. He says, "I'm here. Hennig's next." And Hervey says, "Look how tan Gene is." Ha ha ha! Woo!
Yeah, he's terrible.
That's a quote.
Yeah, he's worse than Stryker in some ways.
He might be. I was laughing at him. Stryker makes me angry. Evan Courageous versus Cat.
Oh, Evan's coming down the ramp, and there's
Yes.
this hot, busty blonde. Boy, did he give her the business.
I'll say.
I'll see you later tonight, baby.
He looked right at the camera and says, "I like her smile."
Didn't get that. Yes. So Cat offers a handshake. Evan accepts like
Can
a
I tell you
fool.
what I hate about this fucking Ernest Miller?
That's what we're here
They're
for.
doing their usual match, okay? Sonny takes the ref. Ernest Miller gets his briefcase, okay?
Yes.
The ref's distracted. You've got a goddamn briefcase. He can't just hit the guy with the briefcase.
Right.
He puts the briefcase on the ground. He undoes the combination. He opens up the briefcase because what he's going to do is, instead of hitting the guy with a briefcase, he's going to open the briefcase. There are shoes inside. He puts the shoes on his feet, which I don't know if you've ever done that, but it takes a few seconds here.
Yeah, sure.
Then he kicks the guys with the shoes and he pins them. This is so stupid.
And if he's a really good heel, he'll hide the gimmick that he kicked him with.
He's not.
Exactly.
So anyway, he opens up the briefcase. It's rabbit slippers. Bagwell comes out on the ramp with the red shoes, laughing.
With a mic.
And Evan Courageous rolls up Shat and gets the pin. It's fucking terrible.
He got the pin
and
the
then
girl.
he gets the pin, and Shat just beats him up and leaves him laying like an absolute geek to make sure nobody gets over.
Sure.
This is a bad wrestling show. You know what I mean?
Happened. That actually
There
happened.
are things I enjoy in it, but it sucks.
I did notice one thing. The next match. You remember when Mikey had that really great pay-per-view match and then we didn't see him on Nitro for a long
He
time?
got in trouble for having a match that was too good.
Yeah, and you know who he had that match before? The Cat.
How was it?
That's impossible.
So
That is absolutely impossible.
he outshined the Cat. So this time
His match was better than Cat's.
I see.
Okay, that makes more sense.
they put the Cat on first and put Mikey on second this time.
Let me tell you all something. This Mikey Whipwreck William Regal match was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
If you ignore that it's on this show, and you ignore this absolutely dead crowd, and you just watch the professional wrestling match that Mikey Whipwreck and William Regal had, it was so good.
Yeah.
I need to see if Mikey's available for Black Label Pro.
He's actually thinking of opening a training school. So
He has a training school.
No, he's thinking of opening.
reopening it.
I see. Anyway,
So, he'd love the opportunity to promote it, is what I'm thinking.
I see. Anyway, they had a fucking great match. It was so great. And then shit happened.
They also had the announcers explained that Finley had injured his leg in the hardcore match the night before and may never wrestle again.
That's true.
Well, it was actually, wasn't that 2 weeks ago? Like, he wrestled on Nitro last week.
Right.
I think it wasn't until after that match they realized how bad he was fucked up. Or the hardcore match was the night before.
No,
this
he didn't.
show.
He didn't get injured in the hardcore match. He actually got injured in a different match.
I see.
Yes.
It was on the road, right?
I don't know exactly where he got injured.
Well, he did in fact suffer nerve and artery damage in his leg that put him on the shelf for literally years.
Yeah. And you know what's funny?
Not that.
Not that. No,
I
no.
can't remember what year it was, but it was whenever Buddy and I went up to Kelowna for
Okay,
that
yeah.
show. It's like 2002 or something like that. He was in WWE working
he
as
was
a trainer.
Yes.
So it's before the show. We're just sitting in the stands, just watching everybody in the ring. They're all working out. And Fit Finley comes out, and he gets in the ring. I don't even know why. Maybe do this on every show. But he just starts doing the head springs over and over and over again. And he's in there and he's working. And I'm like, he's the best guy in the whole fucking company right now. What the fuck is he doing as a trainer retired? And then 3 years later, he came back and he was awesome.
Yeah. But the story here is, you recall last week, maybe you won't, Jimmy Hart challenged Finley to come get your hardcore trophy in Sturgis.
Right.
And then Finley got hurt, so they just swapped the angle over to Regal. And Jimmy Hart and the First Family come out here and say, come get this hardcore trophy in Sturgis. They leave, and the match continues. And
All right, it was a house show in Jackson, Mississippi, July 25, 1999.
Day before.
Hardcore match with Brian Knobbs. Got thrown into a table in the corner of the ring. It shattered. The shards cut into his leg, severed nerves.
That sucks.
It was like Lance was telling me that the laminate on the table is really, really thin, and the plywood underneath, or the particle board underneath, snapped, and so the laminate actually cut him all the way to the bone.
I don't want to go through tables anymore. It's a bad idea.
Well, not those tables.
That's certainly not that table. So Mikey made his comeback, but Dave Taylor's at ringside with the British flag, just like Johnny Ace has the New Zealand flag on those Crockett shows, and he hit him with the flag.
It was such a good distraction. It was so awesome. I loved it.
And Regal hooked the Regal stretch and won.
Literally, Regal is throwing him into the ropes, and Dave Taylor starts raising the flag, and right then Regal just turns the ref around. Whacked with the thing. The ref does a full turn, turns back around like nothing had happened. Mikey goes down, Regal stretch. This match was so great. I loved it.
Mean Gene brings David Flair out for a promo.
Yes.
David's running down Chris Benoit. Gene makes it clear Rick is not there tonight. He will not be there to bail David out. David is unconcerned. Tori says she wants David to finish this quickly. They have better things to do. And David says it'll be easy as 1, 2, 3.
Gene says, what does that mean? She goes, I can't say.
So David says it'll be easy as 1, 2, 3. And Gene asks him one more question and sticks the mic out. And David just goes...
That's what happened.
And that's that.
Dave actually put over David's promo in the newsletter. I was like, did I watch a different promo? That was fucking terrible.
If he went out there to cut a promo about a green guy who has no charisma, he did a great job. All right, so Savage finds Gorgeous George backstage. She's screaming, she's crying, she appears to have been the victim of something terrible. Savage goes crazy, he goes to Robin's trailer, security holds him back. What are you doing? He abducted this woman.
Well,
and who knows what happened in that trailer?
Well, we don't know what happened, so I mean...
Clearly it's bad.
We don't know that.
I'm going to take George at her word.
Well, the security didn't.
I guess not.
She's a heel.
Yeah. Shane Douglas is a sit-down promo. It was a little funny because...
This is a decade after the young babyface Shane Douglas that we just watched on Sunday.
Yeah. I think he thought, they're going to ask me a bunch of questions. I'll give my answers, and they'll edit it into like one piece.
So he should have known better.
He repeated the same stuff over and over again, and they just aired all of it. So he's finally, the time is right for him to come to WCW to fight side by side with his friends, Benoit, Saturn, and Malenko. These are guys you can trust. You can't trust everyone in wrestling, but I can trust my friends, Benoit, Saturn, and Malenko. The time is right to come fight with them. I'm here to cut the cancer called Ric Flair out of wrestling. I'm in Flair's backyard. And he kept repeating stuff, and it finally ended. Kurt Hennig versus Goldberg.
Dude. So aside from the bullshit finish, it is Nitro.
Actually, I love this bullshit finish.
This
is a great bullshit finish.
Amazing that they can fuck every last single thing up, but with one single solitary exception, they just cannot fuck up Goldberg.
They can't kill him.
This was so great.
It feels like it's been a year since he wrestled on the show. He destroys Hennig. The Cowboys take the ref and clunk him with a cowbell so Hennig gets some heat, but then he makes his big comeback. All the Cowboys hit the ring. He spears him 1 by goddamn 1.
The fans are jumping up and down.
So
stands,
awesome.
Going out of their minds.
And Goldberg turns around, and there's Kurt Hennig with a steel chair. And Goldberg's response is, come on. And Hennig looks at him, and he looks at the chair, and he looks at Goldberg, and he turns, and he flees, and the referee disqualifies Kurt Hennig for his cowardice.
Is that what you got out of this?
Yes.
All right. I don't think that's actually what happened, but...
How many times do you see someone weld a chair and not get disqualified?
Well, the point was, there were 4 guys in the ring, and Goldberg spearing every single one of them.
That didn't happen.
This is not a DQ, but he sees Kurt Hennig with a chair, and he calls for the bell.
Right. Because only after Hennig fled.
I see.
He's disqualifying him for his fear.
I mean, they could have had Goldberg pin Kurt Hennig.
Well,
that would have been okay.
This is, first of all, it's great that they did that finish anyway. That Hennig would rather lose, even with a chair in his hand. He would rather turn and run away from Goldberg than fight him. But after the match, Goldberg did go to him into the ring, and then very quickly threw him right back out. So now they're building to Goldberg beating Hennig. They get at least 2 segments out of this.
I'll remember you said that.
Remember last week you were talking about Scott Hudson, and you were enjoying him until he did one of his stupid insider terms. This week, Jason Harvey was bragging about how he had access to all these WCW clips and how great a job that Goldberg does. And Hudson says, I don't think Goldberg does jobs at all.
We had a Hogan Nash video package. This, I can only assume, backfired.
Can you imagine trying to make sense of 4 years of WCW booking in one 5-minute video package?
All this did was point out, this NWO thing has been going on for 4 years. And they quoted that. And the truth is, it's been 3 years and like 2 months. But they still said 4 years to make it sound worse. So that's problem number 1. Number 2, they tried, as Brian said, they tried to make sense of everything. But all he did was unfold step by step what had happened in the past 6 months and realize, none of this makes any sense.
6 months? Go back 4 years.
Anyway.
Like every now and then they'd be building up to something and they'd be telling you about how these 2 guys were going to feud. And then it'd be like, they got back together.
That happened a lot.
I'm like, can someone do this for Bailey and Sasha?
So you're right. It's been a horrible few years, but the worst of it has been in the past 6 months since the finger poke of doom.
Well, yeah, because you can't even remember anything that happened.
You can't remember anything that happened.
They're like, Ric Flair won the title, and then Randy Savage and Sid, and Hulk Hogan after Randy Savage fell off a cliff or something.
So Nash won the title, handed it to Hogan, lost the title, helped Hogan win it. Now he hates Hogan. What? What the fuck?
That's what happened.
This is a disaster. Medusa wrestled someone named, I'm not making this up, everyone, Patty Stonegrinder.
Vinny, it's Leilani Kai.
I realize that.
You can't just call her Leilani Kai.
Is that... Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
I would have called her Leilani Kai.
Patty Stone Grinder.
2 words, Stone Grinder.
Did you notice that somebody was in the ear of the announcers trying to explain what the gimmick for Patty Stonegrinder was?
What was it?
Something off of South Park. That's all I caught.
I see.
Aha.
Cool.
A dated reference.
Completely irrelevant, but I actually went to school with a kid whose last name was Stonebreaker.
Stonebreaker.
I've heard Stonebreaker.
Wow.
But it was one word.
All I know is it was actually a decent women's match.
It was a perfectly fine TV match.
Went a little too long.
And then suddenly at the end, Medusa hit like the greatest German suplex of all time.
Yeah. On Patty Stonegrinder.
Patty Stonegrinder, who is very big by this point.
Yeah.
And she's big, and she's also shorter than Medusa. She's got a lower center of gravity. But Medusa somehow got her hips under Patty Stonegrinder's and flipped her high in the air.
She bent her legs.
And hit this perfect neck bridge. This was awesome. Shane Douglas versus Scott Putski. Remember on Sunday when I said Shane had gained 30 pounds in 10 years? I was wrong. It's at least 60.
Dude, he's fat, he's slow, he's heavy.
Trying to be nice.
Road zoned him.
With that said, he had a perfectly fine match.
Oh, dude. This is Shane Douglas' debut to feud with Ric Flair.
Yeah. He's going toe-to-toe with Scott Putski.
Yeah.
It was not a bad wrestling match. It's not like they were fucking stuff up, but is there a worse way to get a guy over on his first night than have him go toe-to-toe with Scott Putski?
We could have lost.
That's true.
That's about the only way.
Lucha Underground would have had him lose.
He went 50-50 with this guy. It wasn't very good. He hits his big-ass pile driver, but then that's not the finish. And then he hits his Pittsburgh plunge. All I know is I had zero interest in ever seeing him wrestle again after this match.
I don't blame you.
And he's supposed to be coming in to feud with Ric Flair.
That's the plan. That's the plan. By the way, during this match, the announcers are having a discussion. Who do you think Kevin Nash's tag team partner is going to be? Might be someone who doesn't even work for WCW.
Sure. It might be a guy that we can't
say that name.
We can't say that name.
We'll get in trouble. Brian, would you like the floor?
I would like the floor for just a moment here. Hey, listen. I can't do justice to this match, okay? What's the date of the show, Vinny?
July 26th, 1999, episode 201 of Monday Nitro.
Flair's in Japan with Reed. He's 11, competing in the Destroyer Dick Byers wrestling tournament. He's not there. David's on his own. He's in there with the crippler Chris Benoit. Who, by the way, the one negative about this is when Tom and I were watching all of the Royal Rumbles, like, I've never had a problem watching Benoit on these old shows. I just try and separate Benoit from Benoit.
Yeah.
But man, you start watching WWE in 2003, 4, 5, he's starting to look like a crazy dude. It's way more uncomfortable watching him in WWE in the mid-2000s than it is watching him in Nitro in the 90s. Because he doesn't look like such a mutant like he does in the early 2000s. Anyway, he kind of had that look here. So it's a little uncomfortable watching this one. But he's given David the eye. Like, boy, you're just going to get slaughtered here. And everyone wants to see David Flair slaughtered. And everybody knows what Chris Benoit does in the ring. And everybody knows what David Flair does. It's like the perfect dynamic. So young David gets in there. The first thing Benoit does is he locks up and he just fucking kills him with an STO. Drops him right on the back of his head. Everybody goes, oh, or it's on. David can't even figure out how to stand up. He stands up, he kind of stumbles around the ring. He does that guy who doesn't know how to wrestle stumble. You know what I mean? He's kind of just,
yes, I'm very familiar with it,
he sort of goes like this and walks around. And Benoit's just looking at him like, I have great respect for your father.
I'm disgusted with you.
But man, the one thing about Benoit was he really deeply respected the business. You understand? I don't think he actually disliked David Flair, because the whole thing with David Flair was he was never supposed to do this. He was supposed to do one angle with Rick, and apparently they the WCW people saw it and they were like, fuck, let's just do something with this guy. He never wanted to be in wrestling. He never wanted to do this. He was forced into doing all of this stuff. And I'm sure that Benoit knew that. So I'm sure he wasn't in here looking at the guy like, man, you're disrespecting this business. I'm just going to slaughter you. So he gets in there, takes him down again, blows his nose on him. David does his struggle back to his feet. And then Chris Benoit lifts him up, and he just rears back, and he fucking chopped David Flair so hard. And David takes a bump, and you can just see, I remembered this I told you guys about this. I'm watching it again here. Everybody in the crowd,
for 20 years now, yes.
They get up to their feet, and there's a guy across from the hard cam that just goes, oh my God.
Head and hands.
David gets back in the ring, and Benoit just starts chopping him. And he's chopping him with such fury. And every time David tries to drop down, Benoit lifts him back up and he chops him again. The fans are just going absolutely crazy for him. Benoit lifts him up, he gives him the back suplex, puts him in the crab. It's like over. The greatest squash you've ever seen. David's tapping like crazy. Charles Robinson will not rule him the winner. So Benoit gets in there, snap suplex, goes up top for the headbutt, puts him in the crossface, and fucking DDP runs down and he hits the belt shot for the DQ, and David retains his title.
It's not a DQ.
Yeah.
He put David on top.
Oh, that's right. He puts David on top for the finish.
Right.
Hey, listen. When I was watching this, I didn't care who won. Okay.
Sure.
I could not care less that David Flair actually pinned Chris Benoit. It was such a glorious beating, and Chris Benoit did not hurt David Flair.
No.
David Flair did not wake up the next day with a broken neck or like an injured arm or anything like that. He may have had a red chest.
Oh, yeah.
Benoit gave him such a realistic, believable beating that grown men were covering their heads in the crowd. He didn't hurt the guy. It was a work of art. It was a masterpiece of a squash.
A masterpiece.
My favorite one was when Benoit had him in the corner, and he goes to throw a chop, and David pulls his shoulder in to block the chop just a little bit.
Don't ever do that, everyone.
So Benoit grabs his hand, he throws it over the rope, and just kills him.
No, in the long run,
there's
everyone,
no way to
leaning your shoulder into a chop will just make the guy make sure you get two that are harder.
Oh,
just take your chops,
God.
guys.
Just beat him.
What a beating.
So
great.
I'm watching this, and it can be, I guess distasteful is the best word, uncomfortable watching Benoit matches. It's impossible not to watch this match. No. You must watch every second of this to take it all in. It's such a glorious meeting. And the more I watched this, the more I thought about it. I said, you know what? Up to this point on Nitro, I mean, they brought Benoit and they did a lot of stuff with him. He was like a U.S. champion and a tag team champion. And, you know, you could tell that they liked him and they knew he could fit it anywhere on the show. Good guy, bad guy, singles, tag, whatever, and he'll do a good job. But this was the first time where I really felt like I was watching a legit main eventer. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think this squash of David Flair was a very important match in Benoit's career. I honestly think his performance here was so dominant and unbelievable and great that this was the stepping stone to what eventually made him a top guy, even though by the time they made him a top guy, he couldn't wait to get out.
Yeah.
But still.
Not to mention, I raved about Austin Aries versus Moose. But you know what? Moose has been in the business for a while, and he is a great athlete, and he can be carried. David Flair was a mannequin.
Yes.
Sure.
He was the broom that his father carried all those years.
Yeah,
That's actually exactly right.
And Benoit went in there and had such a great match with this guy. Oh, I loved it.
It was amazing.
An all-time great squash match.
It was
still to this day.
I still think Angle versus Roderick Strong is the best squash match I ever saw. But this is
I agree.
A great
actually.
one. The Jersey Triad and Revolution is what they're called now. This Douglas, Benoit, Malenko group. They brawled for a bit. Rick Steiner versus Chase Tatum.
Yeah.
So Chase Tatum is the big jacked up white dude from the No Limit Soldiers.
Yeah, Master P's already gone.
Oh, really?
Got their money's worth.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
You got the hootie-hoo out of there, huh?
So Chase Tatum's coming down to the ring. And I'm thinking, God, this guy's enormous. And he gets in the ring and I realize Rick Steiner's bigger. He's not a bodybuilder, but he's a bigger man. Mm-hmm. Now, on any other show, I would be raving about what a tremendous squash this was. It just couldn't follow the glory of Benoit David Flair.
It could not.
It was a great squash watching Steiner take, and the guy had some training, but again, Steiner was going to make sure this guy respected the business. And he manhandled him, and he worked him over, and he gave him some offense, and then hit a belly-to-back suplex right on the guy's head, and the diving bulldog for the win.
I always love in Rick Steiner matches, he'll take a guy down, he'll cross-face him, he'll like put his knee in their back, he'll just beat the shit out of him.
He'll little brother him, basically.
He will legitimately beat the shit out of him. Then he'll lift him up, he'll whip him in, and he'll be like, clothesline me. He'll just take a spot from him.
Absolutely.
It's like, I love it.
Okay, brother. Hulk Hogan and Sting versus Kevin Nash and a mystery partner.
Oh, who could it be?
So they have been teasing this for 3 hours now. Hogan comes out, Sting comes out, Nash comes out, there is a pause, and then who should appear on the stage but Sid Vicious, the guy who was standing by Nash's side when this whole thing started at the beginning of the show.
Can't believe it.
The announcers are blown away. It's Sid Vicious! Like he hasn't been seen in years. Like he hasn't been a regular part of the show for every week now.
Do you remember, Vinny, how on Sunday I was talking about the rock and roll match and how Ricky Morton told me to punch him and I hate punching and I threw a terrible punch and I hit him in the face?
Yeah.
At least I am for the face. Sid's fucking punches to the chest. Just... John Cena at least tries to hit the face.
Sure.
Sid rears back like this and he punches people like right here in the sternum.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he sucked. The answer, he sucked. Tim asked me once, why are you punching me in the shoulder? Because I sucked.
Dude, your punches were better than Sid's.
They may have been, actually.
Let's talk about my favorite spot in this match. Which, by the way, you know how we always watch these shows and there's like something from today that coincidentally is happening back then?
Sure.
You know who passed away on Friday?
Oh, no.
Rayo de Jalisco Sr.
Yeah.
Rayo de Jalisco. Do you remember what his big move was? The backwards diving headbutt tope.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
19 fucking years ago this week. 19 years ago, the week that Rayo de Jalisco died. Sting is in the ring. And I forget who he's in with. I presume it's got to be...
One of the big clumsy guys.
Actually, it was Nash, actually.
I was right.
Nash goes to whip him across. I don't know what their plan was, okay? But Sting apparently thought, I'm supposed to do a headstand out of the corner, and this 7-footer is going to run underneath me. I think he thought that.
Sure.
I don't know if Nash thought that, but Nash whips him across. Sting runs. He grabs a top rope with two hands. He begins to vault, but he just stops.
And so does Nash.
And Nash stops, and they both have stopped. And then Sting, I swear to God, Sting just goes, ah! And he jumps up in the air backwards like this. And he runs into Nash. They both fucking fall down. I cried. I watched this over and over and over again. I have no idea what they were thinking. I have no idea what they were trying. Nash did not keep running. Sting, started the headstand, but stopped. So, that must not have been the move. But I don't know what the move was supposed to be. And Sting's reaction to just stop and leap backwards like this in the air and run into Ned, they both fall down. It is the best. This is the best Nitro of all time. There's so much good stuff on this show. And that set up the hot tag.
That's right.
They didn't even go to do something better.
Before the hot tag, several minutes before the hot tag, in fact, Sid's in there with Hogan. And Hogan's doing the mounted punches in the corner. And Sid picks him up and goes to the reverse atomic drop.
Yes.
And I think the idea was that Hogan would land on his feet and punch him. But when Hogan went down, his freshly surgically repaired knee tweaked him.
On the left.
Yeah, he blew out his knee.
He panicked and went down.
Yeah, because he blew out his knee on that spot.
Did he legit blow out his knee?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He hurt his knee.
He was able to...
I forgot about that,
And
but I just
then-
remembered.
Well, he was able to keep going.
Before that, Sid knew something was wrong,
Yes.
and he reaches down and he
said-
pulls Hogan to his feet.
He holds his hand out. Hogan takes his hand, and Sid pulls him up. And then they can't realize what they're doing, and Sid pushes him back down.
He's so polite. Mr. Hogan fell down.
Mr. Hogan.
He's got to help him back up.
So they keep doing this match, and you can tell Hogan's leg is bothering him. He's still doing body slams on these 300-pound men. Steiner comes back out. He hits Sting with a chair. He passes the chair to Nash. Nash bonks Hulk with it, and Nash gets the pin.
Oh, God, I loved it. Hogan's getting hit with a chair. So he gigs like 2 minutes earlier.
Yes.
So Nash pulls back the chair and he swings it, and Hogan's all bloody, and it hits him, and then Hogan comes up,
And then the camera got like maybe 15 seconds of the blood.
I didn't realize Hogan was bloody until right now.
He was.
Really?
Yeah. He
Okay.
gigged in advance, like way in advance.
So Goldberg runs out, but as soon as he hits the ring, Steiner takes him out with a chair, and that's the end of the show. So they set up Hogan, Nash. They set up, I assume, Goldberg and Rick Steiner. They can also do Sid and Sting out of this. So, fine. That's all great. This was a fun show. It had a lot of fun good stuff and a lot of fun bad stuff.
I loved it. I loved this show. You ready for the finisher report?
I sure am.
All right, let's see what we got.
The finishes on this show were clean pin in a tag team match, DQ due to interference by clowns when their vampire friend was in grave danger of getting a win, double DQ in 30 seconds, pin after distraction, submission after hijinks, DQ due to fear, clean pin,
You're making that up.
pin after belt shot, I saw it with my own eyes, pin after chair shot in the main event.
Oh, man, what a night. It's much better finishing with Nitro. I end up in a good mood, instead of when we finish with Raw, which sucks nearly every week. And, of course, this sucked as well, but... All right, we're out of time, everybody. We're going to wrap it up. And then let's talk about Nitro. Let me begin here.
Everyone get some caffeine or Coke.
For 5 straight minutes, nothing happens. They got a replay here. They got a replay there. They got a replay here. They got a replay there. There's no live action. Nothing happens in the ring. There's no match. And then it says, this portion of Nitro is sponsored by Snickers.
Which means they went to a commercial.
God, if I were fucking Snickers, that's the portion of this fucking show I sponsored. Get me out of here.
So, in finer detail, it opened with the Hogan, Sting, Nash, Savage, Goldberg package, which I think was on last week's show too.
No, this was the shortened version.
Oh, yeah,
Vinny.
the shortened version.
The legitimate version was incredible.
Oh, the short version was also incredible.
Yes.
See, the longer version had commentary.
Yes.
So even as convoluted as the story is, when you actually look at how the whole thing plays out,
They try to explain it.
Moment to moment, there was someone there to tell you what was going on at that point in time. Here, it's just random clips with no commentary, no dialogue. I had no idea what was going on. If I had not been watching these shows for the past for years, whatever, and paying attention with my own eyes, I would assume most of this was shot out of order. It was so completely random. This made the whole thing even less logical. Then in our Harlem Heat video, Stevie Ray is no longer in the NWO, and they reunited on Thunder.
Maybe he also thought they were disbanded by Shane McMahon.
He may have. The Jersey Triad came out and cut a horrible promo full of malfunctioning microphones and mumble dialogue.
DDP tells Yo Mama jokes about Mrs. Benoit.
Yeah.
Says David defends the U.S. title way better than Benoit ever did. You ain't got it. A guy like David has it way more than you, Benoit. Those were some legit fighting words right there.
That was hokey.
He was in for a beating later.
Bam Bam Bigelow and Canyon versus Harlem Heat. So, this is funny. Jersey Triad are tag champs. And because they are Flair's buddies, when they defend the belts, he lets it do handicap matches. It's all 3 of them against those 2 men. But this is a non-title match. Therefore, they must fight fair.
Yeah.
And they can only do 2-on-2.
Yes.
So the storyline is, you must win a fair fight to earn the reward of a completely unfair fight where you get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Huh.
I got to mention something very important here that plays out for the rest of the show here. At the beginning of this Nitro, in this opening match here on the show, this crowd was so hot.
Sure.
And what's the match? The reunited Harlem Heat, who were over like 2 Canes, against Canyon and Bam Bam Bigelow.
One of them was Kane first.
They go crazy for this match. They go crazy for these guys. Just heat blowing the roof off the place. Remember that.
No pyro.
So, let's see. It was not a very good match. They fucked
Something was weird with the ropes. Did you notice that? Like
no, but it
everybody,
was explained a lot.
Canyon missed the ropes at one point and snapped his neck. You know, you do that deal, and then
Yep.
Booker was hitting him, and he hit him funny.
Well, there was the heat spot was going to be somebody. I guess it would have been Booker hitting the ropes and Bigelow hitting him, but everyone fucked up everything. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But they did get the heat on him. He's cut off, and Bam Bam reaches his arm out for a tag, and Canyon says, "No, I have to hit some moves."
Many.
He just does some moves.
That's his deal.
And he tags in Bam Bam. This guy, great heel heat with me. So it goes on for a while. There's interference, but it's fought off, and Booker goes up top. Paige goes to shove him off the ropes. Now, what happened was, I'll tell you what happened first. As Paige goes to get Booker, Benoit comes out and trips Paige on the apron. But the camera almost entirely misses Benoit. When I went back and watched it a second time, you can barely see him. I thought Paige just slipped.
That is exactly what I thought happened. And not only that, Chris Benoit is not in his gear.
No.
He's in street clothes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I thought that DDP was going up to the apron to knock Booker off the top rope, and he slipped and the belt went flying. And then, like, some dude ran like a stagehand, goes to
Sure he's
grab
alive?
the belt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then the stagehand's in the ring, like, chopping people. And I'm like, this is fucking Chris Benoit right there.
So Paige does this amazing bump. The tag belt goes flying in the air. His feet go flying high in the air. Probably the best bump of his whole career. And Booker hits a missile dropkick and pins Kanyon. And then Benoit cuts a promo on Paige
And the place goes crazy for that finish.
for this non-title win. Benoit cuts a promo on Paige. He knows all about Paige's duplicity.
That's what he said.
That's a weird word to use here. He vowed to show Paige that he does have it tonight.
And then he says, don't you ever bring my mother into this again.
They had a match later on based on Yo Mama jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you think that's weird? I will read my next sentence here verbatim.
Okay.
Lenny and Lodi were talking about footy pajamas.
Yeah, they wanted to know where Shat got his pink bunny slippers.
I see.
It's a good question. It's actually, where did Bagwell get them?
Sting comes out for a promo. He says he wants a match with Sid Vicious and Rick Steiner tonight. Now, last week they did a tag match and Hogan was his partner, which Sting mentioned. And then he mentions here, I need a partner tonight. And I thought at the time that he was going to ask Hogan to be his partner again.
Yeah.
And he says, who do you fans think I should pick? And they all say, Goldberg. I thought, well, you fucked yourself over now, didn't you, Stinger?
No, but that was
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
They outsmarted me.
Which was hilarious because, as you said, Hogan wanted a partner last week,
Yeah.
chose Sting.
Yeah.
Sting needs a partner this week. I'll choose Goldberg.
Didn't choose Hogan. Maybe we'll go to Circle, and next week Goldberg will ask Hogan to team with him.
You know, I don't think that's going to happen, but
So
it could on this show.
Anyway,
I'm pretty sure Goldberg has a concussion by the end of the show.
I know exactly.
By the end of the show, he had giant fucking staples in the back. Or glue. They glued it.
Yes.
So Sting says, I will be back at the top of the hour to get Bill Goldberg's answer.
I talk about this next segment very quickly. Out comes the Shat. Now, I hate his wrestling matches.
Okay.
They're fucking terrible, okay? But I like his promos. He entertains me when he talks.
Sure.
I just wish he never had to work. He was legit pissed off when Bagwell came out in blackface.
I'm sure he was.
He was unaware that he was going to do that, apparently, and boy, was he mad.
Good.
Cuts a promo, says this is bullshit. Maybe that would have been funny in the 20s, but it's the 90s now. He says, I can whip anybody's ass without my red shoes. I'm a 3-time world karate champion, and I did it without the red shoes. Says, it might have been funny to everybody else. It wasn't funny to me. I'm going to whip somebody's ass tonight without my red shoes. He calls out
The gay
the two
guys.
girly guys.
How ironic.
I was thinking that. And he would show them where his pink shoes came from.
So it was Kat versus Lenny and Lodi.
And it was all downhill from there.
I was unsure, really, even to this point, if this is a handicap match or just a singles match where one guy is also getting beat
It's
up
a
a lot.
handicap match.
Was it a handicap match officially?
Well, I don't know, but he beat the shit out of both guys and pinned Lenny.
He did, but there was also a time where he was beating the hell out of Lenny and Lodi was just on the floor waving signs around.
I think it was Shat versus Lenny, but the ref was just incompetent.
He kicked Lenny in the face and pinned him. Destroyed both these men.
Benny, do you remember, like, 2 weeks ago where Lenny and Lodi met with J.J. Dillon?
I do.
Recent entry into the Matt Cleary Memorial Hall of Awesome, J.J. Dillon. And J.J. happily re-signed them to deals.
Right. Because they're brothers.
And I said, at the time, for what? Doing jack shit on television and losing all the time? Well, they come out here right after signing these new deals. They both get their ass kicked and beaten by Shat. I'm just thinking, this is why this company went out of business. They just signed everybody willy-nilly. What was J.J. Dillon thinking at this point?
It was so important for JJ to sign these two, and these two guys come
For
prancing
what?
out. It looks like they've been shot with a glitter cannon, and they're sucking on lollipops, and they're making innuendos the whole time. Why did they need to sign these guys?
But that'd be fine if they were winning.
Understood.
They lost before. They lost now.
I guess he thinks people are tuning in to watch them.
I guess.
That's the best. I don't know what you want me to say, dude. That's the best I can do. Mean Gene brings Hogan out for a promo.
Okay, I didn't write down this promo, but I wrote down a whole bunch of words that Hogan said in order. Are you ready?
Okay.
Because as soon as he goes, brah, it's like the first word he says. I was like, I gotta write all these down.
Okay.
We had a bra, man, Mrs. Kevina, brother, my friend, with a pump on Jack, brother, let's shoot with this thing, brother, man, brother, Kevina, and finally, well, let me tell you, Mean Gene. That was at the end. And actually, as I'm writing all this down, because I just think he's just going to spout bullshit. This is just, why waste my time? I'm just going to write down all these funny words. He actually cut one of his better promos of all time, at least in WCW lately. He's talking about how him and Kevin have had problems for years, and you think you're just going to come in here and take my title, but I've heard that from a dozen guys.
His spot.
Yeah. I've heard that from people for years. Everybody comes and tries. I'm still the king of the mountain. I'm going to kick your ass at the pay-per-view.
And it's a shoot.
Danced and posed, and everybody went crazy. It was a good promo.
He said Nash had left him in a puddle of blood last week. Did that happen? Did
Yes.
I dream that?
Remember we told you
Remember there was a chair shot and he cut
that's
himself
right,
before
yes.
the chair even got to him, so he was
Yes, okay.
bleeding.
And you had missed it entirely because the camera spent literally 15 seconds on the
Then they
cut.
cut away. Okay, that's right.
I didn't
Okay.
write it down, but he mentioned being left in a pool of blood, and Gene says something like, I was very, very concerned for your future at that point.
Hogan also points out he has shaved his beard.
He
didn't
pointed that
notice.
out numerous times.
Yes, he says, look at me all clean shaven with his big giant Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's shooting with Nash. He's not going to let Nash have his spot. That's the end. Sting comes out to get Bill Goldberg's answer.
I just saw him.
Well, that, but also, we're already an hour in. It's a combination of we're already an hour in, but also we're only an hour in because nothing has happened on the show.
No.
Nothing has happened in the first hour of the show. There's 2 more to go. So he wants Goldberg's answer. The camera cuts backstage. Goldberg is walking.
This is even better than a squeegee. Sid has the biggest fucking snow shovel.
Yeah. It's
fucking August.
Yes.
Where did he get a snow shovel?
What arena were they in?
Fuck if I know,
St.
but
Louis,
it wasn't snowing there.
No, but they
They
have
weren't
them.
in Antarctica. He swings his snow shovel.
He clobbers Goldberg in the back. It may have caught him with a shovel, but I'm pretty sure what happened was Steiner grabs Goldberg and throws him over something. It's a cart or whatever. And Bill ends up like on his back on top of this, and he falls backwards the other way and lands on the back of his neck on the cement.
I thought he was dead.
Jesus.
It was so bad.
Imagine taking a German suplex from Brock Lesnar where he throws you and then you land on the back of your neck on the cement. That's what this looked like.
Yes.
So I'm also assuming this is where he got the back of his head all broken up.
Yes. By the way, they're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. There was no need for a snow shovel in
Not in August. But I'm sure they keep them on hand for when January rolls around.
Sure.
Somewhere in that arena, Sid was looking for something big and heavy to use, and he found a cartoon-sized snow shovel. So then they lock Goldberg in this room. Sting runs out to try and make the save, but they beat him up because there's 2 of them. Then they go right back to the ring anyway. Sting makes a comeback. We've talked about how hysterically terrible Sid is at throwing punches. How we talked about how funny he is when he sells punches.
Yeah. 80 degrees, by the way, Sioux Falls today.
Yeah. I didn't say it was snowing today.
Yeah.
So Sting makes his comeback but gets cut off. They cut backstage to the door, and in the nick of time, Goldberg kicks it open. So hokey. And he runs down, and he clears the ring, and he's alive. Bleeding from the back of the head, I wrote here, if only I knew what was to come. So they replay like the entire segment. They go to break, they come back, and they replay it all again.
Yeah.
This was maybe a 90-minute show stretched out over 3 hours.
It's like Raw nowadays, this women's evolution stuff. that not only do they replay on every show, but the music is getting more dramatic by the week.
They replay it like the entire... Oh, I said that already. Evan Courageous versus Disco Inferno.
Every week, Bobby predicts that Evan is going to make it big. Every week. He missed on that one.
So they had a very basic match. Evan was every small babyface ever. All hip tosses and drop kicks and arm wringers. And Disco takes over, works him over a bit, misses an elbow, they go back and forth. And after Evan hit like a dozen drop kicks early, he goes to the well one too many times, he misses one, and Disco hits the stunner and wins. Fine. It's fine pro wrestling.
It was funny, the announcers were like, don't adjust your sets, Disco's pants are blah, blah, blah. And it's like the tamest thing he's ever worn.
They were very shiny gold bell bottoms.
Sure.
Which I did notice when he went up top, they also had pockets. That made me laugh.
That's where you put your gimmicks.
Tori Wilson and David Flair did a promo.
This was they're backstage on a couch. He's wearing the same shirt I'm wearing right now. He's got his belt over his shoulder, his bleached hair. Tori's rubbing his face.
Trying to get the red off of it.
You're the greatest champion of all time, she says. I know I am.
Too much.
Why are you defending it so often? I talked to my dad on the Learjet. Now I will defend once every 30 days with Charles Ezraf. I need to rest my body.
That's what happened.
That's it.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, after last week's match, probably does need to rest his body.
See, I'm going to ask, what is worse now? David Flair's matches or David Flair's promos?
Oh, it's promos. Because we saw one of his greatest matches, one of the greatest matches in history last week. I've never seen anything resembling a great promo.
Forget even having chemistry with Tori Wilson.
Right.
He seemed almost annoyed she was there.
But didn't they actually date?
You wrote a book, you told me.
I'm almost positive.
It sounds right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All I know
keyword is did.
All I know is I wrote, God bless David, he's so awful.
That's unbelievably terrible.
That's what I got out of this segment.
I did some research. I was wondering when the Demon was coming in.
Why?
I don't know.
Of all the things to look up,
They
I mean, it's
started-
1999.
They started vignettes.
And they're dead in a year
like,
and a half.
They started vignettes like 3-4 weeks ago, and we haven't seen one on the show. I think they're completely writing off the Kiss character
Oh, okay.
on the network.
Well, they probably have to pay a lot for those Kiss songs.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Gene Simmons is not known for giving...
Oh, no. It was David and Stacy Keebler.
Ah.
That's what it was.
Okay.
I knew I...
Well, in that case, if he was dating Stacy then, this makes more sense
I
now.
don't think she showed up yet. Because she won a contest.
I see.
To date David.
So they do this
I'm
promo.
afraid that wasn't the contest.
That's good.
They do this promo.
Crappy prize, man.
There's
Hey, maybe David Flair's a nice guy, Craig.
Maybe he is.
He's just a bad wrestler and a terrible promo and has no charisma. But he could be a nice guy.
He's a forest ranger now.
Yeah. Yeah, someone needs to watch the trees.
Someone does a great job taking care of trees.
Yeah. Fuck, I'd love to be a forest ranger.
You realize there's a lot of work in that.
Well,
Physical work. It's
Maybe
not just
not.
putting on that cool hat and talking about Smokey the Bear.
damn it. I still like just be sitting outside all day.
You also know we live in Washington. It rains here a lot.
Well, there is that, yeah.
Anyway, so they do this promo, and then there's seriously a 20-second video about how there used to be great U.S. champions, and now David Flair is a joke. Sid does a promo for 20 seconds that is half screamed and half whispered.
He was so mad, I couldn't understand half of what he said.
I have no idea what the
I
hell
wanted
this
to hear
was.
all of it.
Hugh Morris and Jerry Flynn versus Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas.
What in the fuck was this match? Dean Malenko is just floundering. And so what do they... Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas versus Hugh Morris and Jerry Flynn. Then they go out there and they wrestle for an hour. Malenko gets a hot tag. It's deadly quiet in the building. Douglas is still trying to do this Pittsburgh plunge, but he pins himself every time. Looks terrible. He's still trying. And then, at the end, they steal the hardcore trophy. They say they're taking it home to Fit Finley.
Dean Malenko, hardcore legend, I guess.
Yes. Now I got
Not Shane Douglas, who just came from Barbed Wire City.
Sure.
Craig, did you get the correction last week about the Finley story?
No.
It wasn't sent to you?
No.
Wow. Well, anyway, So
Yes.
I'll just read this verbatim, Craig.
Okay.
You can probably figure out who sent it.
I already know, probably.
Craig fucked up the Finley story.
I know exactly who sent it.
Yeah. WCW did not bring standard tables, so they just used one that they found at the building. It was made of Formica. Not Formica?
Formica.
Not particle board. When Formica breaks, it breaks into a hard fiberglass. It created a sharp edge,
Gotcha.
which almost sliced his leg off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what happened.
So yeah, this match was terrible. The stuff with Douglas and Hugh Morris in the early portion where they were on... To say they were on different pages would be an insult to pages.
They were in different libraries.
They had no idea what was going on. And then eventually they try to use the hardcore trophy. It backfires. Flynn clotheslines Morris. Shane pins Flynn with a Pittsburgh plunge. And Revolution, Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas steal the hardcore trophy.
Revolution?
That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
No, they started last week.
I don't remember them calling themselves that. Fuck, when I think of Revolution,
Sure.
I think of Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas in World Championship
In
Wrestling.
1999.
Yeah. Woo!
Changing the world here.
To think they were losing
last
this
quarter
war.
of their careers. Goldberg music video.
I like Dean Malenko, but rewatching these has not done him any
His
favors.
WCW run was, especially the second half of it. He was fun when he was wrestling the cruiserweights and having great matches every week. What a novel concept. But then the Horseman thing sucked, and anyway. Goldberg music video, they actually played the Megadeth song.
Crush them.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It was not Symphony of Destruction. I was sad. But
Well, this wasn't a very good Megadeth song.
no, that's my point. of all the licensed music to leave on, it's this one. So they played the whole video. Okay.
It's weird. Like I said, they're cutting out all the Kiss stuff, but they left a Megadeth video in
Yeah.
this week.
Well, it depends on who gives you the rights to what.
Gotcha.
I guess. Rick Steiner comes out. Did anyone at any point in the show notice Scott Hudson saying anything about Rick Steiner?
No.
Apparently, he's been saying very mean things about Rick Steiner.
Well, for a few weeks. I guess the whole reason that they brought Scott Hudson in was so that Rick Steiner could beat him up after a few weeks.
I see.
Because Shivani didn't want to get beaten up. Tenay didn't want to get beaten up.
Well, who does?
Obviously, Bobby didn't want to get beaten up. And Hudson was okay getting his ass kicked, so
Well, that's what happened.
that's why he was here.
Rick grabbed him.
Why? Like, what the hell did this do for Rick Steiner to beat up Scott Hudson?
I don't know. He drags Hudson into the ring, hits a suplex on him, punches him for a bit. This all results in the fans barking for Rick.
Yeah, like that sure worked great.
So they go to commercial, they come back, Hudson's in a neck brace, he's getting strapped to a board. Bischoff's on commentary, and first he's doing the low voice, Are we on? Are we on? Bobby, are you with me? And they take Hudson all the way out to the ambulance in the parking lot, and they're trying to imply that this man has suffered some sort of catastrophic injury.
Sure.
And as they're loading him in, like a switch gets flipped. And Bischoff says, let's get this thing back under control. Let's get the ball rolling.
He's out of earshot.
Next match coming up as you see Scott Hudson being loaded out. Let's hope Scott is okay.
Yep.
He got over
And
it.
now he's on commentary for the rest of the show.
Moving on.
Bobby Duncombe Jr. versus Saturn. Kurt Hennig comes out, talks about Kurt Hennig wannabes. Now my song has gone to the top, and now I've got a country music wannabe. Chad Brock or Chet Flop or whatever he called him.
Chad Brock is going to be on the show next
A
week,
country singer.
which was such good news because it means the show's going to be shorter if he's going to do a concert.
So I'm not familiar with Chad Brock. And
I remember him being there, but I've never
Kurt Hennig called him short, bald, fat, and ugly. And nobody likes people like that. I can confirm he is short, bald, and fat.
Yeah, I think Dave called him Little Van Vader.
Wow.
And then Kurt Hennig, I swear to
If
God,
you bury this.
I swear to God, Kurt is talking about all these guys who want to be Kurt Hennig wannabes. He's ranting and raving, and then he turns to Saturn and he makes a Uranus joke about Saturn.
You're not from Saturn.
He's so happy.
And he points.
Yep.
You're not from Saturn, you're from Uranus. Saturn is furious.
So mad.
What was the show, the kids show WWF did, WWE did, where they couldn't do headshots and it was all comedy?
Oh,
yeah.
God, what the hell was that? WWE Kids or something.
Something.
Saturday Slam.
Saturday
Saturday Morning
Masters?
Slam?
Yeah.
Saturday, that was it.
There it is.
This was that show by WCW. One man telling another he's from Uranus, and that man getting very angry.
But then it gets even better. Kurt Hennig says, hey, Saturn, You're from Uranus. Ha ha! Saturn proceeds to beat the shit out of the other redneck.
Yes.
And he says, Hennig, I want you. I'm so mad that you made fun of my anus. I want you right now. So, Kurt Hennig goes, I'm in my street clothes. Saturn's in his gear because he was getting ready for a match. Hennig goes, I'm in my street clothes. But then he goes, you know what? I'm better in bar fights anyway. So in his street clothes, unprepared, he goes into the ring and he beats the shit out of Saturn. He beat him up for like 10 minutes. I was like, could you have made Saturn into a bigger geek than they did here on this show?
So Saturn makes his comeback. He had planted, the bell rang, he hit a DVD on Duncombe, he challenged Hennig hit the ring, and the bell rang again.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Here he hits a DVD on Hennig, the Wyndham's attack for the DQ.
Yep. And you know who's at ringside? Eric Bischoff, who for weeks has been giving his fucking speeches about how, we made a lot of mistakes, but we're going to turn this show around. I'm going to really lay down the law. These rednecks run in, he's like, oh man, bunch of rednecks in the ring. Huh. DQ. Could not give a shit less.
So eventually, Malenko and Douglas run out and clean house. Bischoff says, they must have gotten word about what was going on. There are no monitors in the back. Okay, A, I find that very hard to believe.
What?
B, they only watch their buddies' matches if there's monitors convenient. On a show where there's sneak attacks and sabotages and ambushes every week.
Yes.
Chris Benoit versus DDP.
Am I the only one that was bored by this match?
No, the announcers were very clearly bored.
Audience is dead quiet.
I enjoyed the match.
It was
okay.
It was a fine TV match that absolutely nobody cared about. I think Benoit debuted the Rolling Germans here. First time I remember him using them. Let's see. David Flair runs out, gets knocked off the apron. Page hits a roll-up. Benoit reverses it and gets the win. But the attack continued. It was funny. The Jersey Triad attacks, and they distract Benoit, and Page hits a diamond cutter. They're about to get in the ring, but Page holds up his hand and says, wait a second. And then I guess they left, because they disappeared from this segment. So Page hits a bunch of diamond cutters, and David Flair is out there cackling. I have no idea where Kanyon and Bigelow went. So remember that other Sid promo I talked about, how we couldn't understand anything he said?
Yes.
I believe they aired that and realized no one can understand a damn thing. Let's shoot it again. Because we got another Sid promo. He was whispering again, but it was loud enough you could hear him better. So he promised his wins would pile up higher than anyone could count. I will be the Millennium Man. Yeah! I laughed.
That's on the other show, by the way, and it debuts next week.
With a much better payoff.
Finally, we get the segment that made this show exciting. This is why we review Nitro second now. Macho Man Randy Savage comes out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Threatening to kill Hulk Hogan.
I'm glad of one thing, because remember last week I tried to play math with who hates who and thus who was on what side?
Yes,
sure.
Savage clarified everything here. Hogan, you're dead. Nash, you're dead. Rodman, you're real dead. Okay, he just hates everybody.
Yes,
sure. Fine.
He's a crazy man.
I can understand this now.
He says his girlfriend George is under lock and key. She's missing. He's locked her up somewhere.
Well, she keeps getting kidnapped.
No one seems very concerned about this. Calls out Dennis Rodman, but Miss Madness comes out instead. I love Molly Holly. This was the goddamn worst acting in the history of this program. And think of the ground that covers.
She was really cute, though.
She was very cute.
I believed everything Macho Man said. I didn't believe a word she said.
She says, Macho, I can't do justice to this. I'm just going to say what she said. I know you fired me, but I want you to reconsider. And then she actually says the direct quote, come on, can I please be on your team again?
Right.
I tried.
She had more energy and emotion than David Flair, but no more humanity.
No.
Still something.
This was one of those robots.
This is a robot programmed.
Beats Granny at Words with Friends.
David Flair was a speak and spell. Mona was a robot badly programmed to simulate human emotion.
All I knew is I could not take my eyes off of Randy Savage's temple because you could actually see the blood pumping through the vein that was coming out of his head.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
So she wants to be in the team, and Gene says, she is a very loyal person.
So Savage asks if she is loyal. Then he pushes her to her knees, tells her to beg for her job.
First he grabs her to the chin.
Yeah.
Then he shoves her down by his crotch.
That happened.
I'm like, dude, this is getting uncomfortable.
Now?
Well, I mean, it's getting really uncomfortable.
Okay,
He's
sure.
been uncomfortable for months
It's
now.
getting more uncomfortable. That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
He says, I've reconsidered, Mona. You're still fired. And then he demands Rodman come out. Now we're talking. We got the Macho Man Randy Savage and Dennis Rodman with live mics on WCW Monday Nitro.
So Rodman comes out. He looks 8 feet tall and 100 pounds.
Well,
Yep.
And partly because he is flanked by two of the bigger No Limit soldiers.
4x4 and swole.
And they sure were.
Yeah.
So they bleeped him, but he picks up the mic and he very clearly says, "Hey, Macho
Excuse me?
asshole."
a-hole.
You can say it on the air, you
I was
jackass.
doing video for the
Well, we're listening.
customers.
Okay. Well, for the rest of us, what did he say?
Macho asshole.
Okay.
So Macho calls Rodman a bitch. Rodman calls Macho a bitch.
Oh, Vinny. Rodman mumbles something I can understand. And then he says, Macho, don't you know, once you go black, you never go back.
Right.
Randy Savage then says, just because you've been somebody else's bitch all your life doesn't mean you can come after mine. At that point, Bischoff loses his mind.
Yeah.
He goes, cut their audio! Somebody cut off their mics!
All of a sudden, he's in charge again.
And then they actually cut their audio. Because the mics go flying, you don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
So, Bischoff's just sweating his balls off. These two fucking guys are just going crazy. Mona gives Savage a low blow. Rodman starts dropping elbows on the guy. I can't wait to see this match.
And then he's in the ring demanding a mic, and nobody's obliged.
Yeah, he's like, give me a mic. And Bischoff says, don't give him a mic. Do not give that man a mic.
Is this me, or when he dropped that first elbow, did he miss his target so badly that his ass landed on Savage's face?
He probably did.
It looked like he killed him with one of them.
He had great speed, though.
I'll say.
He was quite an athlete.
He's a
Bet your Macho has some good
fabulous
speed,
athlete.
too.
Yes.
Vampiro versus Eddie Guerrero.
That segment was awesome. That's so great.
All right, I'm glad Brian enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I want to see this upcoming bash. What is it? The Road Wild?
Road Wild.
We've got to watch that match. We got to watch it.
We'll see.
Okay.
Vampiro versus Eddie Guerrero. So Vampiro is hanging out with Raven and Insane Clown Posse, and apparently using an Insane Clown Posse song.
They got the extendo entrance, man.
Dude,
Dude, they played the entire song.
Jeez.
And they played a song.
Yeah, they did
'Cause I'm
some
quite
wacky
certain-
song over it.
I'm certain this is not their song. So when you're watching it in 2018 and you don't get to hear Insane Clown Posse, it's just a generic rock song for 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Vampiro, so they're dastardly heels. Vampiro's
Sure.
high-fiving everyone, hugging fans. Bischoff plugs the Nitro Girls pay-per-view by saying the footage is so hot, we can't even show it on air to promote it. Wow. Yeah. So they're doing this match. Raven and the clown, most of the clowns really are interfering a lot. Eddie makes his comeback, wipes out everybody. When he goes up top, then Raven interferes. He pushes him off the top rope, and Vampiro hits the Michinoku driver for the win. So last week, when Vampiro had the win, the clowns jumped in for the DQ. I guess he smartened them up. Said, Let me
Sure.
pin this guy, then come in and kill him.
Yeah, they're smart. It was just stupid booking.
The funniest thing about this, Bischoff was still apologizing during this match for the previous segment.
Yeah. It's exciting.
So Ray Jr. and Conan run out to make the save.
I do have to say that everybody loved the clowns and Vampire and Raven doing their entrance. Then the match started. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the main event with Hulk Hogan on commentary.
Now, this is not quite as bad as on Raw, where they advertised a match and then didn't deliver. They teased a match here between Hogan and Nash for the main event, and then when you get to the main event, you find out it's not there. So Hogan comes out to do the commentary. It's Rick Steiner and Sid versus Sting and Goldberg. I don't know what music the heels got here.
What in the
It's like
hell?
a happy dance song.
It was like what we used for your finish.
I was going to get a striped shirt on and go clubbing. This is music. So
Goldberg's
then,
over.
Then Goldberg comes out and they play Megadeth.
Yeah, he's over a
thing?
huge.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So speaking of huge, the lump on Goldberg's head.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It was funny because Bischoff said, it's the size of an orange. I'm like, come on. And they turned sideways. Oh, my God, that's the size of an orange.
Dude, most oranges
It's a
are not this
watermelon.
big. And it is in fact super glued shut because you can see the
Yep.
line running down the back.
Yep. Sabu was there.
So It's Goldberg. He's indestructible. This giant hematoma on his skull did nothing to slow him down. They're doing this match. It's pretty crappy.
Dude, it's horrible, and the crowd is dead. And God bless Hulk Hogan. Like, I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing.
Really?
But on commentary, he's trying to act like it's WrestleMania 3. He's so excited about all this stuff that's going on. Everybody in the crowd is dead.
So, Sting goes to use Steiner goes to use a chair. A four-way breaks out. Steiner goes to use the chair. Hogan grabs it. He bonks Steiner. He bonks Sid. That's a disqualification.
Okay, I don't want to... So listen. There's no reason to ever hit somebody in the head with a chair. Because there's two options. You either hit him really, really hard, and that's a bad idea, or you do what Hogan does here, and you give him the lightest chair shots of all time, and it looks like complete shit. Just grab the chair and hit him as hard as you can in the back. You ain't gonna hurt anybody. Nobody's gonna die. It's gonna look and sound good. Hogan's chair shots to the head. I have to mention this because if I make fun of his weak chair shots, I'll have 15 fuckers ranting that I talk about chair shots to the head. Now I'm complaining that you hit him very hard.
Yep.
Don't hit him at all in the head. It's a bad idea whether you hit him too hard or too soft.
So, Goldberg, maybe he was hurt more than we realized, because he wrestled in the match, but he didn't do a lot, and they didn't even do a hot tag. Sting got beat up. They did a DQ.
Yeah.
Goldberg running into Steiner, like in the first 10 seconds of this match, like two freight trains crashing.
When you
together.
talk about reasons to watch Road Wild,
Good grief.
I do want to watch Bill Goldberg wrestle Rick Steiner.
Dude, maybe that's going to have to be a potpourri.
That sounds like fun.
Rodman match
and Bill Goldberg Steiner.
Goldberg Steiner.
And there is a perverse part of me that actually does want to watch Hogan and Nash.
Well, it was worse, according to Dave, than Dennis Rodman and Randy Savage fighting in a porta potty.
I can easily see that.
I think we probably have to watch that match.
We may have to.
That's 3.
We'll see how it goes. So,
Is there any match we want to watch on SummerSlam?
I don't even know what's on SummerSlam.
What does that tell you?
Yeah. So Nash comes through the crowd. He powerbombs Hogan through the announce desk, and the show ends.
I love how Bobby just, I don't need to be here. He knew there was a powerbomb coming onto the table. He didn't want to be anywhere near.
Well, you're right, but there's also the storyline of Hogan coming out, and he's only been feuding with Hogan for 30 years at this point.
I just love
there's
that. 4 years earlier, I think it was, maybe 5, there was that famous Kevin Nash-Bret Hart match where Nash powerbombs him through a table,
Right.
which nobody will ever forget. And here we are in 1999, Kevin Nash powerbombs Hogan through a table, literally as the graphic is on the screen to end the show. Hogan crashes through this fucking table, and they're off the air.
Yeah.
This show. It's so exciting, though.
It felt 5 hours long.
It was a long fucking show.
Yep.
With no lack of excitement. All right, everybody.
Hey,
Yes.
music.
Oh, god damn. You're right. Let's do this.
I write this down. Payoffs, I get to read them. The finishes on this show were pin after foiled interference, clean pin in what I guess was a handicap match, clean pin, no finish in a match that went 5 seconds, DQ due to rednecks, pin after foiled interference, pin after interference, DQ due to interference.
That's it.
It's a lot of bad finishes.
That's a